The fundamental idea is that after 1945, we went through the Cold War where you had two superpowers which were, in a sense, managing the world. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, you had the triumph of the West, actually the American moment where the US were the only superpower, and it's over. It's over because the American policeman or American gendarme is tired and is going back home the way we saw it in Kabul. You know, well, in Kabul, what was also interesting in August 2021, when President Biden said, now the US will intervene only when its vital interests are at stake. And you have other powers emerging or re-emerging, like China, Russia, India, and all these countries are telling us, the West, you know, really, your domination of the world is over. And we are back to power politics the way we knew them in the 19th century, but to the dimension of the world. We have to understand that Europe that we know, we have been knowing since 1945 was an exception. It was an exception. War was totally impossible on the European continent, but the civil war in Yugoslavia, and we were under the protection of the US.
And of course, events in Ukraine have kind of tipped everything on their head once again, haven't they?
Exactly, and I do think that, unfortunately, the war in Ukraine is not a crazy exception. It's maybe the announcement of what we are going to face in the coming decades. And, you know, in the conclusion of my book, I say that the Europeans have to rearm themselves. And when I'm thinking of rearming, it's not only acquiring weapons, it's not only being ready to war, but really ready to face this world, which is a tough world, a world where only power matters, and where the Europeans should be the only herbivores in the world of carnivores.
Sounds a bit depressing.
Yes, it's depressing. We are, in a sense, we are realizing how happy we have been since 1945. Very often we were complaining about the heaviness, the lack of tact of our American godfathers. But I think that now we are going to realize how happy we was this period.